Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's a nice, beautiful morning on a Thursday, 7:32. Justin Trudeau's budget 2024 came out yesterday, or 2 days ago, and encompasses stronger provision on wealth tax and more social spending. The guy is behind in polling. His team is fighting for survival within parliamentary regiments and understanding encompassment. And if you look at Parliament and all the operatives and the majority of bills and other matters of business that are taking place other than that question period, which is what you see in videos when you log into YouTube, you see a 45-minute discussion between Pierre Poilievre and Justin Trudeau where they discuss current events, the budget, whatever they're under attack about or whatever they choose to represent and try to promote. That's 45 minutes of an 8-hour day in Parliament. The majority of all other business that's going on within the confines of that building are fixing problems that Justin Trudeau has made. There's a major discussion going on and controversy and legal proceeding about the Arrive Canada scam, is what they're calling it, because it doesn't encompass anything positive, overspending on apparently unpractical technology team acquired to represent and vet out contracts and try to capitalize on middleman management and tending to tenders with exorbitant bids and reducing them. Anyway, and the app was never fully functional, and the exorbitant spending that's related to that app. That's going on in Parliament. And there's a bunch of other matters that are going on now that are cleaning up the mess that Justin Trudeau has made for Canada. And he comes out with the 2024 budget, and he has more increased social spending and other demagogues and ideals that he's willing to put forth. The guy, for social spending, has a managed deficit. It's grown twofold since COVID, since he's been in government. And ridiculously enough, he's doing more social spending now. And what does he have to show for it? A federal dental plan for everybody? I'm sure some people will use that, probably make use of it, but a federal dental plan, and he's putting in child provisionment for warm food in their tummies, as Chrystia Freeland says, for your children when they go to school in the morning. I know, unfortunately, there's children in difficult times and at home that don't have enough to eat. To go to school and be able to be fed is definitely a privilege. But for these two things solely, it's almost a little bit ridiculous that a federal deficit has doubled under this guy's leadership. He incorporated a wealth tax going at corporate gains, capital gains rather, embodying any kind of non-residential physical asset, investment asset allocation of a taxation bracket that went up from essentially 1/3 to 2/3 or something like this of a taxation. Wealth tax. A lot of people aren't happy about that in the upper percentile of Canadian wealth. And it's also a big deterrent on business and our business environment and wanting to promote growth within Canada. This is the issue that Bill Morneau, had with Justin Trudeau when he was his finance minister 5-6 years ago, and he lost his job for it, or there was a disagreement and he didn't last. Since then he has Chrystia Freeland, who's just keeps on spending money, is not managing a deficit, talks about financial literacy as if it's a growth per GDP capita growth schematic on a chart, when there's other deficit encompassment, other strong financial related matters that make up and consider growth and financial security for Canadians. Not simply growth and acquisition, some new business development in EV and green technology, and everything is fine, or enhanced immigration to a certain standard and everything is fine. There's caps being placed on these things now as if there's some sort of mitigated control going on with this guy. Look at what's going on in Parliament all around question period if you do. Many bills, many impositions, many moments of controversy or conspiracy, whatever it is, with like Arrive Can scams and other things that are related to what he does. It's time to get Trudeau out of there, and that's what's happening. Look at the polls. He's far behind in Pierre Poilievre. There may have been gains recently of some sort of extent. It's time for the Liberal government that's there now to take a leave. It's time for Justin Trudeau to take a leave. Jean Chrétien, his cabinet wanted to oust him after he had, I think, 11 to his 12th year representing Canada. He was behind in the polls. This was before the election. His cabinet was advising him maybe to step down. He refused for a while. He was under the gun, and Jean Chrétien stepped down and stepped aside and did the noble thing and transferred on leadership to the next Liberal hopeful as Prime Minister. He says in interviews he didn't really want to. He felt that he was doing well, but the team wanted this, and he strongly considered the positives and negatives, and he did the noble thing and stepped aside. Justin Trudeau can't do that. And Justin Trudeau's cabinet is so whipped that they can't even overthrow him, overthink him, or try to deal or transgress with anything other than dealing with him as their strong leadership prospect. I don't know what's going on with that government. I don't know if there's fractions of that government that talk to each other about what's in the best interest of that government. It almost shows that there's not really there's not really a strong proficiency and understanding and encompassment in that cabinet, because those things don't happen. And ideally, as a leader, you wouldn't want too much of that to happen in certain standards, but it does, because these people are supposed to be acumen professionals in political divinity, where they talk amongst themselves, they talk about what's best for the party, for the future, for things going forward in a political organization. They haven't even talked about probably trying to overthrow Justin Trudeau other than embracing him. He's a bad leader. Deficit has doubled under his leadership. He's imposed spending with minor program implementation, and things have gotten exorbitantly crazy financially. Justin Trudeau needs to go. All of Canada knows this. Everyone in NDG out here knows this. People in Montreal know this. So don't forget it. He's going to tie you into your psychological betterment so that you have some sort of sentiment of doing the right thing as Liberal voters who are key in that kind of demagogue. And he's going to tap into what you think all the time, and betterment and ideal and feel bad for me ideologies and warm food in their tummies with Chrystia Freeland. And you guys are going to go as suckers and vote for him again. So this election, do what you should do. Don't vote Liberal. Don't vote at all if you're going to vote Liberal. And if you should always vote, I would say, but I would vote for a Conservative or NDP government for a stronger fulcrament of managing budgetary and deficit measures with leadership and teams that actually have some common sense practicality, intellect, and stronger fulcrament of taking this country forward than a guy that lives in Ottawa in a house that's not the Prime Minister's house, hides away with his family, minorly makes appointments within the organization confines of Parliament, hires people to develop Arrive Canada applications that have no legitimacy or tangibility to them. I'm sorry, that have created a huge cover-up conspiracy scam mess for him to now filter out. It's time for Justin Trudeau to go. That's bad leadership federally for Canada. He shouldn't have made it through Andrew Scheer or Erin O'Toole. People have a sentiment for liberalism and a betterment, and then a guy that's manipulative and puts on a nice guy image. So you vote for him and vote for him in all the time. Time to get that guy out of there. Anyway, enjoy your day. Thursday. Bye.